In your 20s, you've entered the most confusing couple years of your life. No one's giving you a roadmap on how to live. You lose touch with old friends and you learn new things about yourself literally every single day. And there is no one right way to live your 20s. On top of that, if you decided to move to a new city all by yourself, knowing absolutely no one, then congratulations. You have more courage than probably 90% of the people in our age group. But don't worry, you're not alone because that is exactly what I just did. My name is Sean. I'm in my early 20s and I just moved out of my hometown to my own apartment in Los Angeles, where I know absolutely no one. It's a brand new city for me, and I am just getting started. I decided to move out alone, but if I had someone to tell me these 5 things that I'm about to tell you, I would have had a lot more reassurance in myself and a lot more confidence to make this move to basically start a new, exciting chapter in my life. So here are the 5 things I wish someone had told me before I made this scary transition. So first off, knowing no one in a new city can seem extremely nerve-wracking at first, but just remember that that's a sign that you have to step out of your comfort zone in order to grow. If I've learned anything from this past year of postgrad, it's that getting uncomfortable is the number one way to speedrun any sort of personal development that you may have. The only reason that you might not be seeing growth in your life, in whatever aspect that may be, either that's in the gym, either that's with your health, either that's financially, either that's with a job, either that's with your friends, it's because you're not stepping out of your comfort zone in order to put yourself in these uncomfortable situations that will literally force you to grow. And moving out alone into a new city is literally the most uncomfortable thing that I have ever done. Because if you keep doing what your body is used to and what your nervous system is used to, then that's just a sign of comfortability, and that's a sign that your growth is just staying at a standstill right now. In our 20s, it's like this wave of emotions, of development, of experiences. But if you decide to stay comfortable, then it's just basically growth like this. It's definitely going to be in the upwards direction, but it's going to be very slightly. But having these different experiences in your 20s by getting uncomfortable is literally how you're going to grow. And you're going to look back on these years and you're going to be like, wow, if I didn't do X, Y, and Z, if I didn't move out on my own, if I didn't take that leap of faith, then my life would be completely different in a bad way. Number 2, loneliness is bound to happen at some point. It's what you do when your brain starts to spiral that makes the difference. If your brain is spiraling, saying, oh, I'm lonely, I don't have anyone to talk to, I'm just by myself, I feel so uncomfortable, and then you start getting into negative thoughts and then you just decide to not do anything with your life because that's better than just getting uncomfortable and getting all these thoughts in your head, you have to realize that at the end of the day, you just have yourself. Especially in your 20s, it's probably the most lonely that you're gonna get. You have no family, probably have no girlfriend or boyfriend, no partner, right? You can lean on your family, but you don't want to be a burden to them. Same thing with your friends, but they're all scattered across different cities. You need to learn how to sit with yourself, talk with yourself, and get comfortable with your own thoughts. Like this past year has been extremely lonely for me, and even moving in by myself, I knew that that loneliness would probably be tenfold because at least back home, I had my family. But I willingly chose to leave my hometown, leave my family into my own apartment, into a city where I don't know anyone, because that would force me to rely on myself and figure things out myself. Because at the end of the day, you only have yourself to lean on. So why would I not bet on myself? Why would I not try to get uncomfortable? And it goes back to the first point of getting out of your comfort zone. Because sometimes as humans, we tend to do very different things when we get lonely. The worst possible thing that you can do is resort to things that give you quick, short-term happiness and dopamine rather than sitting with yourself, festering in your thoughts, and really thinking to yourself who you want to be as a person and who you want to become eventually. I know that if I stayed in my hometown because I wasn't lonely and I didn't choose to move out on my own to my new apartment, then the comfort would fester. The loneliness, yes, I technically wouldn't be lonely because I had my family, but in my head, in my heart, I knew that I would be alone because I was choosing comfort over growth. Leaving my hometown in my 20s really opened my eyes to what's out there. I met so many cool people already in LA, and I'm realizing that there's a whole world out there that's separate from my hometown, that's separate from what I already know. And then it's just allowing me to grow even more every single day. Number 3, this is probably the biggest lesson I've had to learn just moving out on my own and depending on myself. And it's that everything is on you at the end of the day, especially as a man in his early 20s. No one is coming to save you. No one is giving you handouts. No one is coming to just dig you out of the hole that you probably dug yourself in. Everything is on you, and it goes back to my point of saying that you really only have yourself in this world. If you don't know yourself to a T, if you don't trust your instincts, if you don't bet on yourself, you are essentially relying on someone else for your success, for your happiness, for your peace. And the biggest thing that I've had to come to terms with is that a little bit of stress, a little bit of hardship is good for you because it allows you to grow, it allows you to push yourself, and it allows you to push the boundaries that you didn't even know existed within yourself until those events came up. And truly, man, stop looking for handouts. Just go out there, take the leap of faith, and bet on yourself, because at the end of the day, that's all you got. Number 4 is that you will learn so much about yourself in a good, positive way. You will learn what you like. You will learn what you don't like. You will learn what kind of person you are. You will learn how you get around people that you don't really like. You will learn about things that recharge your battery. You will learn things that deplete your battery and that you must avoid at all costs. Because you start spending time alone with your own thoughts. Boredom is when you get the best ideas and when you learn the most about yourself. And then if you're living alone in your own apartment, away from everyone else, especially in your 20s when you're trying to figure out what direction you want to take your life, boredom is extremely important, because then you get to thinking, and then you get to thinking, what do I want out of this life? What do I want to do? What do I truly want to do? Like, what makes me happy? What doesn't make me happy? What am I chasing? What are the goals? What are the desires that I have? And when you start doing this on a daily basis, it just expands your horizon and it expands your thoughts so much. Like, when I started doing this, I would literally just sit with myself every morning and every night and start to imagine and visualize what my dream life looks like and the steps that I have to do to get there. And then after I think and after I visualize this, obviously you're going to have that drive and that slight bit of motivation to start working and start doing the things that you want to do. Let's say I want to go out and meet new people. Once I visualize that, I'm going to go out. I don't care if I'm alone. I'm going to do it myself, because that is exactly what I want. And that's what I thought of when I was bored, instead of just scrolling on social media and rotting my life away. And 5th and lastly, it is scary as hell to do anything in your early 20s that's going to require an insane amount of risk. And moving out of your hometown, moving from a comfortable position to an uncomfortable position, is probably one of the scariest things that you or I have ever had to do. But I realize that it's an essential turning point. It's like a canon event for growth. For me, it's only been like 1 to 2 months. So obviously I'm not going to see that massive growth, that massive self-improvement yet. But I know that if I keep working on myself every day, if I keep putting myself out there in uncomfortable situations where I am forced to grow, I'm going to look back on this year spent in LA and I'm going to realize that it was a very pivotal moment in my life. And if I didn't decide to take the leap, then I probably would have regretted it for the rest of my life. And the thing that I learned when I'm in my deathbed, because we're all going to die someday, I don't want to regret anything. And the minute that I realized I would regret not moving to LA is the minute that I understood that I have to make this move for myself, even if it makes me uncomfortable. Taking that initial leap is always the hardest part of any decision, whether it's quitting your job, whether it's moving to a new city on your own, whether it's deciding to break up with your girlfriend or boyfriend for the better, whether it's to cut friends off, whether it's to make life-altering decisions. That first initial leap is always the hardest part, but once you realize what you can get on that other side, taking that leap sometimes is the only option, and that's exactly what I had to do. And if I had someone to tell me all 5 of these things before I moved out, I probably would have made this move a lot sooner, because it's just something deep down in my heart that I desired. And I know that in your 20s, you have certain desires that you feel in the bottom of your heart, but it's all getting pushed down into the depths of your soul because you're distracting yourself and you already know what you really want out of life, but you're just scared to make that decision. And I'm telling you right now that it is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to take the leap and fall as long as you pick yourself back up every single time. Maybe this move will not be a good thing. Maybe I will look back on this year in LA and it was probably not as good of a year as I wanted it to be, but I know that at least I took the leap at least I won't regret this move, and I came out of it a better person. So if you enjoyed any of these tips, send it to your friends that are also in their 20s that might need to hear this advice. And if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to ask them in the comments, because if I had a video like this when I was trying to decide big life-altering decisions in my past a couple months ago, I feel like it would have helped me make decisions much faster. If you guys want to check out my previous video where I talk about what the goals I have in this year of living here in LA and for the rest of the year of 2025, the last 3 months, be sure to check that out. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you made someone else's week better, and I will see you guys next time. Deuces.